to our regular board meeting. I will announce that the public will be able to hear everything that we are doing in this room on YouTube.com, Edgecombe County Public Schools. We have a 5-page agenda, so we won't tinker along a lot tonight. We'll try to cover everything that we have to cover, and we're delighted that each of you are here. I will now declare our meeting to come to order. And I will ask each of you to stand with us as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We have one board member who will not be in attendance with us this evening, Mr. William Ellis. So we will get started. I hope each of you have had an opportunity to pick up an agenda. I believe they're on the stand outside the door, and we will follow that to the T. We are right now at item 2 on our agenda. Dr. Bryant, would you have any additional information that we will need to add to our agenda?
No, Madam Chair.
I will call for a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval and the acceptance of the agenda as printed.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we will approve our agenda as printed. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. We are now at item 3, recognitions. Dr. Dove.
Madam Chair, I believe Dr. Whitaker is standing in for Dr. Dove this evening.
Okay.
Welcome. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
ECPS Susan Hoke Employee of the Month. In honor of Susan Hoke's enduring legacy of service, compassion, and dedication, we proudly present the Susan Hoke Employee of the Month Award to recognize a team member who exemplifies the positive impact and caring spirit Susan shared throughout Edgecombe County. This month's recipient serves as the welcoming face of her school and is often the first person students, families, staff, and visitors encounter. She consistently creates a warm, inviting, and supportive environment while carrying out her responsibilities with patience, professionalism, and kindness. Whether comforting a nervous student, assisting a parent, answering questions, or supporting staff members, she approaches every interaction with compassion and respect. Even during unexpected or challenging situations, she remains calm, responsive, and solution-oriented, helping to foster a safe and reassuring atmosphere for everyone she serves. Her dedication to customer service and her unwavering commitment to students, families, and colleagues make her an invaluable member of the school community. The recipient of the June 2026 Susan Hoke Employee of the Month Award is Teresa Leachworth, receptionist at G.W. Carver Elementary School. with well-deserved recognition for her outstanding service and dedication to Edgecombe County Public Schools. We would also like to extend our sincere appreciation to the local State Farm insurance agent, Greg Sessom, for partnering with ECPS to provide our Employee of the Month recipients with a token of appreciation.
And our next item, 3.2, Fairview Elementary and D.S. Johnston Elementary School Employee of the Year Service, Gorham and Lee.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson, board members, Dr. Bryan, and senior staff for allowing us time for this special recognition tonight. I'm Dr. Lindsay Lee, the proud principal of D.S. Johnson and the former assistant principal of Fairview Elementary School. Tonight, and she's not here, we wish that she was here tonight, but tonight we have the privilege of recognizing someone who has become a true cornerstone of our community. For an incredible 53 years, Ms. Lineberger, has faithfully served as a crossing guard for both schools, dedicating herself each and every day to the safety and well-being of our students. Through generations of children, families, school staff, she is a steady and caring presence, greeting students with kindness, protecting with vigilance, and treating every student as if they were her own. She also treats staff regularly with the very best pound cake in all of Rocky Mountain. Her commitment goes far beyond directing traffic. She has helped create a sense of security, comfort, and community for countless families for over 5 decades. Her dedication to our students is remarkable, and the impact that she has made on our community cannot be measured. Tonight, it is our honor to celebrate and recognize Ms. Lineberger for 53 years of extraordinary service and unwavering dedication. Thank you to Ms. Lineberger, and we hope to see her in August. We will present her with her recognition when we see her at school. Thank you.
I believe that's about the longest I've heard. Good while, 53 years. Yes, that's wonderful. You tell her we missed her.
Thank you.
Thank you for the service.
Yes.
Now it's time for our public comments. And at this time, we have allotted time for individuals to speak to us. They have 3 minutes to share with us. They have to sign in before the meeting starts. That's one of our rules in relation to our public comment section. So we are at that time now, and that involves the whole policy. You can read at your leisure. That's policy 2310. And I have the sheet. This is about the first time in a while I haven't seen but one name. Oh, man. This must be something real special. The individual that is going to speak to us now is Mr. Reuben Blackwell. If you come forward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
To the board and to the superintendent, to the fine staff and the citizens of Edgecombe County. Thank you for coming to Rocky Mount. Let me just say that. We are so excited about your future in Rocky Mount for the children, for our families, for our communities, for our city. I know I only have 3 minutes. I'm familiar with trying to keep it short and right to the point. I want to request that we do something very special for all the citizens of Edgecombe and Rocky Mount in particular. It's very important as a sitting elected official with the City Council in Rocky Mount. It's so important to me and to others that we begin to show history and respect for those who paved the way for us. And so my request is coming from 3 individuals representing a community that is Reuben Blackwell, Andre Knight, and Richard Joyner, who is a former city council person. Collectively, the 3 of us have represented Edgecombe Rocky Mount for a number of years, along with other individuals. We're asking that your board consider naming the Teacher Resource Center on Fairview Road after your own esteemed chair, Dr. Evelyn Shaw Wilson. We're asking that you put her name prominently on that building so that students and families will know that Edgecombe County has a distinguished individual who served as the first African-American woman elected official to the school board, first African-American female that leads the school board in the past and set footprints for the future for many to follow after. We'd like you to consider putting her name on that building and then consider thinking about how you can continue the legacy of remembering history throughout all of Edgecombe County for all of us, the things that people have done in the past to encourage us to do better in the future. So that's my request to you. I got some individuals here, I believe, who would stand with me in support. If you would just sort of rise on your feet, if you would. Thank you. Just a few folks. Thank you so much. Thank you if you can support that. Just a few people. Thank you so much for the legacy that Dr. Evelyn Shaw Wilson has made. Thank you so much, and look forward to supporting every one of you as you work to improve all of our county and all of our citizens in the future.
Oh, thank you so much. You get to keep on talking. I know we have to move the meeting. But I don't know how to take this. I thank you. I thank you and thank everyone who knows me. You know, if I say something, I mean it. You know, if I say it and mean it, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what else to say. It's bothering me now. But I'm happy that you care about me.
Yes, ma'am. We love you. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. You don't have to say another word. I think they got it from here. But I'll leave it in your hands, whatever your policy is about naming buildings and how you move forward with that. That's up to you. So I stay in my lane. I did what our hearts have desired to do. Thank you for accepting our request, and thank you for considering it. Thank you for your service, all of you. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. And my daughter is here tonight, and she was in on that. As I was getting dressed, somebody opened my back door, and I was ready to step out. And there was Grace, her husband, and my grandson. And you all need to stand up so that the people will know who you are. Okay. That's what all that was about. But anyway, I'll talk to them later. I thank you so much for being so.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
before we move forward, what is the process? I know we have a policy. Is that correct? Ms. Robinson, we have a policy about naming?
Right now.
Could we read through that briefly before we move forward?
This policy 9300, naming facilities. Do you want me to read it?
Please.
The Edgecombe County Board of Education considers naming facilities to be a significant endeavor since the name of a facility can reflect upon the student, staff, school system, and community. The superintendent shall involve the staff and students assigned to the facility and the students' parents in the process of identifying possible names for a new school facility or facility being renamed. The superintendent shall consider the following criteria as well as other factors the superintendent determines to be relevant in identifying potential names. The name should not be so familiar to the names of existing facilities as to cause confusion. The name should include a designation of the type of school, such as elementary, middle, high, or specialized kind of school. The name may be in honor or in memory of an individual who has helped students in this school system succeed through financial contributions or educational leadership. The name may be that of an educational leader of prominence and reputation beyond the school system. However, priority will be given to names of educational leaders who have directly or indirectly helped students in this school system to succeed. The name may specify the geographic locality of the school. The superintendent shall submit a recommended name or limited list of recommended names to the board for approval.
I'll work with Mr. Robinson.
Can't hear back here. We can't hear. Can't hear anything.
Sorry about that. So she asked me the question about moving forward with this, and according to policy, as superintendent, I will work with the board attorney to set up a process and timeline to bring back a possible recommendation for the board.
We don't have time on it. I guess.
We will discuss that, and I can expedite that.
Please.
And quickly do it.
Some of us, our days are numbered.
Thank you so much. We do have a tendency to follow policy in anything that we need to do that affects the board. That's how we operate. And I may be a part of the vote and I may not, but I think we should follow what the policy states. And from what I hear, Dr. Bryant will take the lead and we'll follow up. And we will probably make sure that all of you who are here and others will know something about it and probably plan it in a situation where others can attend. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll continue with now. Do you have another question before we move?
No, I know often we waive policy, but I didn't know if this was a case that we would have to waive policy for it. That's all.
Certainly, Ms. Robinson, prerogative of the board.
Yes, I suppose if there was a desire to act tonight, there could be a motion to amend the agenda to add an item for the naming of the Teacher Resource Center Rocky Mounts. And then we need to hear from Dr. Bryan. As the policy anticipates, is the superintendent brings a recommendation and presents that to the board for approval, and then the board
vote on that.
Is there a pleasure of the board for this? Do you want discussion later in the meeting? Or, okay, that's what you think should happen, that's what you think should happen? We'll have discussion later in the meeting.
Now we
Now, I think everybody can hear me, right? So I have a point of clarification for the board attorney. Is there, and I want to make sure that I heard everything correctly here. So does that mean that's going to be placed on the agenda as an item to discuss?
I would like to add it to the agenda for us to discuss the naming of the Teacher Resource Center in Rocky Mount. Excuse me. I would like to request that we just add the item to the agenda so we can discuss it later in the meeting.
All right, can you phrase that in form of a motion?
Motion that later in the meeting, we discuss the possibility of the renaming of the Teacher Resource Center in Rocky Mount.
And then we need 2/3 vote since the agenda has already been approved.
Second.
I'll second.
Oh,
We got a motion and a second.
Yes.
We need a
On the board.
floor. So we need to vote on it.
yes, ma'am. We have a motion and a second that we will add to the agenda an item to discuss the renaming of the Teacher Resource Center in Rocky Mount. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. So we will add it to the. Where's a good place? Put it under item 12. 12A. 12.1. All right, thank you very much, Will. Does anyone else have any comments on this issue? The motion carries, so we'll move forward. Approval of our open session minutes, we have 2 sets. So we have to approve each set individually. Have you had the opportunity to read the May 11th, 2026 set of open session minutes? If you have read them and found any correction, we need to hear that now. Hearing none, I need to hear a motion to approve our May 11th, 2026 open session minutes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve our May 11, 2026 regular business meeting open session minutes.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve the May 11th, 2026 open session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. The next set, our May 27th, 2026 open session minutes. In your reading, did you find any corrections? Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion we approve the open session minutes for May 27, 2026 regular business meeting.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our May 27th, 2026 open session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Thank you very kindly. We are moving forward. Item for information. Item number 6, Dr. Bryan, school updates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight, we're going to start off with a sort of an overview that I think fits sort of the mood of the season. As everybody knows, over the last few weeks, we've had lots of end-of-year celebrations, and one of the great celebrations that we have are high school graduations. And on Friday, obviously just before Memorial Day, Edgecombe Early College High School had their graduation. And also on Friday, we had our 3 traditional high schools that had their graduation. And tonight, Dr. Whitaker is going to present 3 students who sort of exemplify the making of a graduate in Edgecombe County. Dr. Whitaker.
Again. Excited to stand before you and to share some exciting news about our class of 2026. ECPS, making of a graduate. So first of all, I want to start off just by reminding everyone about the North Carolina Portrait of a Graduate and the competencies that we are to instill or teach our students upon graduation. And you will see them listed here on the screen: adaptability, collaboration, communication, empathy, learner's mindset, and personal responsibility. And so you will hear from some students tonight that will talk about how these competencies have been instilled in them and how it's helping to propel them to the next chapter in their lives. So we do want to say, I'm standing here tonight talking about the making of a graduate, but I also want everyone to keep in mind that preparing students for post-secondary success requires all of our collaboration and working together. So on the screen is the pre-K 13 continuum. So it's everybody, all of our departments, curriculum and instruction, teachers, administrators, federal programs, all of us working together to make sure that we're doing what's in the best interest of our students. So right now, I'm going to open the floor. We have some students we're very excited about. They are going to share with us student reflections, and they're going to talk about what it meant being a student in ECPS and the impact Edgecombe County Public Schools has had on them. So first, we're going to call Miss Tamia Fox, and she is a graduate of North Edgecombe High School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamia Fox. I am a graduate of North Edgecombe High School, class of 2026. Okay. When I reflect on my journey through ECPS, I realize that my path has been anything but ordinary. I started school in Tarboro at Julia Hammond's Head Start Center. From there, I attended Stocks Elementary School for kindergarten, moved to NEECP for first grade, and then returned to Stocks for second through fifth grade. After elementary school, I attended Phillips Middle School, then Patillo during 7th grade through COVID, returned to Phillips for 8th grade, and attended North Edgecombe High School as a freshman. During high school, I was given an opportunity to attend Edge Academy of Health Sciences after expressing my interest in healthcare to my principal, Ms. Creaky. I attended Edge for 1 semester before transferring back to North Edgecombe. At the time, Edge didn't fit where I was in my life. And as I continued to find myself, I realized that North Edgecombe was where I truly put my best foot forward and thrived. So I returned and finished my high school career there. As you can see, I did a lot of moving from school to school. Some of it was due to changes in my living situation, but through those experiences, I learned something important. Not every environment is meant for you, and that's okay. While I made friendships everywhere I went, I found that the atmosphere, staff, and students at Phillips and North Edgecombe felt like home. One of the biggest ways I've grown in my confidence. When I was younger, I was extremely shy. Because of comments people made about my lip, I often kept to myself and was afraid to put myself out there. But Phyllis Middle School brought out a different side of me. My classmates made me feel accepted and comfortable enough to be myself. I began opening up, building relationships, and realizing that I couldn't spend my life worrying about what others thought of me. By the time I reached North Edgecombe, I wanted to be involved in everything. And I mean everything. I stopped letting fear hold me back and started taking chances. Throughout my years in ECPS, I've been blessed with people who supported me. Miss Jessica Parker and Miss Kenya Rayner are two people I value deeply. But one teacher I especially want to recognize is Miss Delmonica Vick. My freshman year math teacher. During a difficult time in my life, I allowed problems at home and personal distractions to affect my schoolwork. Because I was usually energetic, joyful, and always helping others, she noticed when something was off. She reached out to my parents and took the time to talk with me. She made me feel seen, understood, and cared for. Her encouragement helped me get back on track, and I truly believe she was the person who nominated me for the Gold Key Award freshman year. Ms. Vick never let me give up on myself, and for that I will always be grateful. One experience I will never forget happened during my freshman year when I made the cheerleading team. Unfortunately, I was removed from the team after using inappropriate language on the bus after a football game. At the time, I was angry, hurt, and full of regret. I begged for another chance, but wasn't given one. Looking back now, I'm thankful that that experience taught me that something you love can be taken away in an instant because of one poor decision. It taught me accountability, self-control, and the importance of carrying myself with maturity. This lesson changed me, and I've never allowed myself to make that mistake again. ECPS has taught me many valuable lessons. First, always be yourself. Trying to fit in with a crowd that doesn't make you happy will never lead you where you're meant to go. Second, never be afraid of change. I've experienced many different schools, environments, and opportunities, and each one opened doors I never imagined. Finally, never give up. There were always times when I wanted to quit, when things felt overwhelming, but teachers, staff members, and friends encouraged me to keep going. Their support helped me become the person I am today. Those lessons have given me the confidence to attend Edgecombe Community College before transferring to the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Many people have asked why I chose not to go straight to a four-year university, but I've learned that success isn't about following someone else's path. It's about choosing the path that works best for you. For me, this decision makes sense financially and personally, and it will help me stay focused on my goals. While my journey may look different from some of my friends, I am confident in the choices I've made for my future. Best part of ECPS being a part of ECPS has given me a sense of belonging and helped shape my identity through every school, every challenge, every mistake, and every success. I learned to believe in myself. My school community helped me in my voice, build my confidence, and discover who I am. To the younger students, my advice is simple. Never be afraid to put yourself out there. You will fail, you will fall, you will experience disappointment and hurt, but don't let those moments define you. Get back up and keep trying and continue taking risks. When you put yourself out there, there are opportunities waiting for you. You just have to be willing to walk through the doors when they open. Because of ECPS, I am confident in who I am, proud of how I've become, and prepared to face the future with courage, resilience, and determination. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamia. Let's give her another round of applause. At this time, we will have Mr. Nasir Johnson, who is a graduate of Tarboro High School.
Greetings. My name is Nasir Johnson. Greetings. My name is Nasir Johnson. I attended Tarboro High School, and I am a part of the class of 2026. One of the best classes, probably.
Use your strong voice.
Yeah, move the mic up.
Move the mic up and use your
speak
strong
loudly.
voice.
I didn't know if y'all was ready for that.
Be listening. Be listening.
My journey first started at Northeast Carolina Preparatory School. But as I was approaching the 4th grade, my mom made the decision of a lifetime. I then began attending schools within the Edgecombe County Public School System, which helped me become the man I am today. I went from not being able to speak with confidence to being able to proudly say, I am your Mr. Tarver. Not only that, but my confidence in speaking has rewarded me with many opportunities and much success. And the credit truly goes to Edgecombe County Public Schools. One challenge I faced was transitioning from a private institution into a public school system. That experience helped me find myself and also build character. The people I grew up with within the Edgecombe County school system were a little different from me, but I learned how to adapt and adjust to my new environment. I always seem a little different in terms of interest, style, and personality. But through it all, I continue to be my authentic self and strive to flourish through life with joy. Throughout my journey in the school system, I have met and learned from many people. Here are a few individuals who made an outstanding impact on my life. Mr. Dennis Taylor, Mrs. Joseph Morton, Mrs. Jessica Jones, Mr. Casey Garrett, Mr. Christopher Miles Stafford, Mrs. Samantha Dupree, Mr. Ricky Dozier, Mr. Terry Hopkins, Mrs. Jessica Jones, Mrs. Destin Phillips, Mr. Jasmine Ingram, and Mr. Jay Brown. These individuals did more than educate me. They educated me about life. They taught me valuable lessons that helped protect me, guide me, and allow me to flourish in positive ways. Master Sergeant Garrett, an aerospace instructor for JRTC, was like a father figure to me. He treated me like a son and would not allow me to fail, even on the most simplest tasks. I attended summer leadership camp for 2 consecutive years. The camp involved countless miles of walking, running, countless push-ups, and intense mental challenges. To overcome it, you cannot simply be physically strong. You must also be mentally prepared. Sometimes that means shedding a few tears and also sharing a few smiles. Before the camp began, Master Sergeant Garrett made me promise that I would never leave the camp early. He made me promise to fight through even the toughest moments. I was a big guy. I was 16, 5'11", and 250 pounds. And so I don't move quickly as other people. I don't move as quick. He knew that. And so he pushed me even harder. As a result, I became the top flight cadet during my first year of summer leadership camp. As a 3-sport athlete, one thing I will never forget is the love, joy, and peace that athletics at Tarver High School has given me over the past 4 years. I truly value the support, kindness, and character building experiences I've gained simply by participating in sports. Beyond athletics, I also benefited from organizations and activities such as Student Body Government Association and also Superintendent's Student Advisory Committee, and many more. Throughout these years, I developed my greatest takeaway from Edgecombe County Schools. Be yourself and never let anyone or anything define you or your work. I also learned that nothing in this world is free. You must sacrifice something, whether it's money, your lifestyle, or simply time. Something always has to give. I will always encourage young people to work hard. I will always encourage young people to work hard first and enjoy the rewards after. I understand that in the moment, some things can feel that they cannot wait. However, life is all about time management, accounting, and accountability, and making the right choices. Thank you.
So we actually had one more student, Talia Evans from Southwest, who was going to speak and share reflections tonight, but she contacted me earlier today and she's ill and won't be able to make it, but we do thank her for just being willing to participate. Let's give these students another round of applause. We are so proud of them, and we do want to say, as we talk about the making of a graduate, that it just didn't start in 9th grade or in high school. As they reflected back, this journey starts all the way back in Head Start and pre-K, and we are thankful for all of the teachers and administrators and staff who poured into not just these two students, but all of our graduates that helped get them to that point. All right, just a few more things about the class of 2026, some post-secondary outcomes. So I wanted to share, so when our students are in school, they take ACT and ACT work keys. So the work keys is a career readiness assessment that measures essential workplace skills and whether or not students are ready to go into the workplace. And so there are 3 levels to work keys: platinum, gold, and silver. So it is our hope that all of our students reach platinum, but we do have some students at silver and gold. And we're not where we want to be, but we're excited with where we are now, and we're pushing to increase our work keys proficiency. So just want to share that right now with our graduating class, we have 15 platinum, 57 gold, and 69 silver. So post-secondary goals again. One of the things that we were very intentional about this year is we wanted 100% of our graduating students to be enrolled, enlisted, or employed upon graduation. Meaning when they walked across the stage Friday or 2 weeks ago, they had to have a plan. So the strategic plan, we believe every student should leave with a clear post-secondary plan or pathway for success. Students should be prepared for opportunities in higher education, military, or the workforce. And through intentional preparation and support, we aim to equip them with what they need. So our goal was 100%, and we call it the 3 E's: enroll, enlisted, employed. What are you going to do when you leave us? So this chart right here breaks down our schools, and it shows the number of students in each class, the cohort, and then the percent of students who are enrolled, enlisted, or employed, meaning that they have a plan after graduation. So you can look and see the percent of the outcomes for each one of our high schools, and overall as a district, we're just at 80%, and we're still pushing. So next year, we're hoping that that's going to be 100%. All right, and some more good news. We've shared here our high schools, our graduates, and the amount of scholarships that have been awarded to this class, the class of 2026. And we see that overall, scholarship awards are in the amount of $2,494,868. We would like to thank all of our schools and our staff and our administrators, but a special thank you goes out to our high school counseling teams, because they dig in, and without them helping students with college applications and taking the ASVAB and things that they need to do for the future, getting those scholarships out there, we wouldn't be where we are now. So a special thanks to all of our high school counselors, the team, and our administrators. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, graduate, can you come up for a quick picture with Dr. Brian?
Now that's what I call a blessing to my ears.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Could we just go back to a previous item that I think we can bring back to the voting? I believe our honoree from T.S. Johnson and Fairview might be here.
All right.
I think it'd be a great time to recognize.
Ms. Lineberger, if you could come forward. They heard all about you earlier. All about your 53 years of dedication to our families and our students and the best pound cake in all of Rocky Mount. So on behalf of D.S. Johnson and Fairview Elementary School, we say thank you for over 50 years of service.
Thank you. You know. We'll see. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. She dressed to the nine tonight. I got you, girl. I see.
And we can slow up our itinerary anytime we have a recognition like that. Yes. I did not see her come in and I didn't know she had gotten it. Okay. We're ready for, yes.
A couple other items. So, as I said before, lots of end-of-year activities happen at the end of the school year. Lots of celebrations from elementary schools and fifth grade students going to middle school and eighth grade students going on to high school. The athletic awards and senior awards, just a great time of the year. I want to thank everybody involved in that with our school district and our schools, and what a great effort they put forward to honor students. And I think it just means a lot to our community when that happens. So we're very appreciative. The other thing I want to share tonight, we've been in the process over the last 6 to 8 months. We've been working on a research project with Watershed and NC Best and Friday Institute to look at how we're implementing literacy within the school district. And that report is still near completion, still in draft form, but they've been looking at data and looking at talking with MCLs and teachers in the classroom. And I think we've gotten back some good feedback on things we're doing well and things we're trying to improve as a school district. And one of the things that is the goal of the research is to create a model for a literacy model in Eastern North Carolina. And I appreciate the work from the researchers and the cooperation of our staffs. So, very appreciative, and that report will be up very soon. Finally tonight, I'd like to ask Shannon Dennison from our auditor group to come forward and present our audit for 24-25 for last year. Shannon, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Bryan, I appreciate the opportunity to present the results of the June 30th, 2025 audit. So this does go back to last fiscal year. So looking back, ending June 30th, 2025. So a lot's happened since this time, but we wrapped up the audit for the June 30th, 2025, early April, and so wanted to be able to present that. Our opinion on the June 30th, 2025 financial statements is unmodified. That's a clean opinion, the best opinion that you can get on a set of financial statements. So excellent work on being able to obtain a clean opinion. Looking at the funds, if you recall, the general fund is going to be the main fund of the district's bank account. Accounts that can continue from one year to the next. State public school fund, federal grants fund, those are both more of a use it or lose it situation. You cannot carry fund balance in those two accounts. So the general fund started the year with $1,034,513. Ended the year with $389,486. Capital outlay fund is going to be the fund that can be used for expenditures on buildings. Started the year with $2,031,012. Ended the year with $1,531,966,000. On the capital outlay fund, a lot of those projects are done over the summer, so that fund can tend to fluctuate more than most funds. Individual schools are going to be the funds held at the schools. Started the year with $421,492, ended with $517,139. Other special revenue is going to be primarily grant funds. There's going to be some other funds that are unrestricted in the other special revenue, but primarily it's going to be restricted funds. Started the year with $4,059,575,000. Ended the year with $1,348,287. Looking at the funds, the unassigned fund balance is really the number that's going to be most impactful within each of these funds. The unassigned fund balance for the general fund is $148,179. The other allocations are going to be restricted. Some of it, most of it's tied up in inventory, as well as prepaid expenses. Looking at the other special revenue fund, again, the majority of that is in grants. Some of that, the stabilization by state statute, are amounts that the district has not yet received as of June 30th, but is owed. That makes up $382,000. There's about almost 1.1 million that is restricted for specific items related to grants. Leaving negative $101,429 as unassigned that's able to be used. Looking at the Child Nutrition Fund, because of how the School Food Service Fund manages the child nutrition operations, we recommend looking at this fund from a cash standpoint and looking at the fiscal activity, just because of how items have to be booked within this fund from an accounting standpoint. Started the year with $4,806,275. Ended the year with $4,406,633, spending about a little under $400,000 during the year. Now looking at items that we identified during the audit, a material weakness is going to be the most significant type of deficiency that we identified. A significant deficiency is going to be the lesser of the two items as we talk through some of these findings. And then the least significant is going to be kind of a separate management letter. So if you look at it kind of as a three-tier system as to how items can be reported. So the first one is going to be a material weakness. That's going to be the more significant, and that's going to be reconciliation of records. We identified that bank accounts and other various accounts on the general ledger were not reconciled on a regular basis in a timely manner. Many of these were reconciled after the end of the year, and so we do, because of that, financial information that is reviewed throughout the year was not necessarily accurate, and any errors were not identified until after the end of the year. So we do recommend making sure that bank reconciliations are completed on a monthly basis shortly after the end of the month. This is a repeat finding from the 2024 audit as well. The next one is going to be a material weakness. Again, the more significant of the two, and that's going to be budget violations. When we were doing the audit, there were several items that were over budget in a variety of funds, which also means that expenses were not able to be pre-audited. One of the requirements that the general statute requires is that expenses are pre-audited, which means the finance officer or delegate, that somebody in finance is reviewing to make sure there's sufficient budget that you all as a board have allocated for items prior to incurring the items, prior to paying for the items. And so because of the budget violations, that does also mean that the pre-audit function was not functioning how it should have. Also, federal grants fund, other special revenue fund did not have beginning budgets for most allotments. I think that was kind of a technical situation from discussions with staff and thinking that the continuing resolution would go through until there were numbers in there, but with how those were passed, they were passed with very small or $0 beginning budgets. Specifically, and so we just recommend on this making sure that budgets are passed for all funds before any funds are spent. Even, you can project out budgets or wait to pass a budget for a fund until those funds are more known, and then making sure all expenses are within budget prior to incurring them. Our third finding is a significant deficiency. This is going to be the lower of the two findings. And I apologize, the prior one was also a repeat finding from 2024. So the third one, leave balances. This is where, as employees come and go from the district, that if an employee leaves or retires from the district, their leave in the accounting software should be adjusted for being transferred to the retirement system or transferred to another district or entity, or after so many years, removed if they lose the leave and don't transfer it. We identified several instances where those leave balances weren't adjusted. And really the risk with this is going to be if an employee were for some reason to return and then their balances show them having a bunch of leave, then they bring leave in and all of a sudden they get more leave than they had earned. And on the district's books, it looks like a greater liability than it should be because those employees are no longer with the district. So this is also a repeat finding from 2024. The next finding is a significant deficiency, again, the lower of the two findings. In this situation, when expenses are moved between state and local funds, DPI in a couple of past years automatically transferred the cash when you moved an expense. Moving expenses happens on a regular basis. It is something that if a district is efficiently using their dollars, they are making those movements to make sure that they're effectively using state allotments provided. However, cash balances do have to be transferred. If you initially paid it out of local and were able to move it to state, you do have to transfer the money as well. As of the end of the year, as of June 30th, 2025, there was almost $4.1 million that the local district bank account owed the state bank account. That is recorded in all of the numbers, so that's not an additional liability. That's already accounted for, that bank transfer needed to be made. And that is a repeat finding from a prior year, however growing number from the prior year. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions on any of these. I meant to say that. The next finding, significant deficiency, again, lower of the two, and this relates to capital assets. Many assets were acquired through the demerger with Nash County Schools, did not get recorded as them coming over into Edgecombe. So a lot of work was done on that kind of after the end of the year and making sure that all of those assets were properly recorded on Edgecombe County Schools books as they transferred to the school district. The next one, significant deficiency, again, lower of the two, and this one's going to be purchase orders. And with the purchase orders, we had this as a management letter comment in the prior year, did elevate it to a significant deficiency, and that's just making sure that a purchase order exists before items are purchased or ordered or services are contracted. The biggest reason for this kind of goes back to the budget situation, making sure that those funds are set aside before an invoice comes in. Once an invoice comes in, it's very challenging to, if somebody's provided a service, it's very challenging to set aside the money after the fact. So with the declining fund balance that the district has gone through and the issues with the budget, that is why we kind of elevated it, because it does become a bigger concern in just making sure that purchase orders are out there before any items are ordered or any services are contracted. The next one is going to be a material weakness. This one has to do with credit card expenditures. We noticed several instances where receipts were not necessarily obtained, expenses weren't recorded properly in the general ledger, and there really wasn't a great tracking of kind of what was paid on the credit card. And so due to that, there had to be a reconciliation done after the end of the year, and just under $50,000 had to be reported from many transactions. We looked at the vendors of those transactions and didn't identify anything that looked any more significant than the fact that the accounting around it and the receipts were not submitted. However, we were not able to view receipts or see exact purchases for these items. The next item revolves around cash management. As state funds are used, state cash has to be requested. The state doesn't automatically, you don't get automatically the money that the state allots you. They don't automatically put that into the state bank account. On a monthly basis, the district has to request the cash. If the district doesn't request enough cash, about 10 days after the end of the month, the state deposits the cash. If they request too much, about 10 days after the end of the month, the state withdraws it back. But they do like the funds to be as close as possible. There used to be a rule that they had to be spent within 3 days. And so it is a very kind of, especially on June 30th, they want to get it as close as possible. In this instance, the district requested and received about $21 million more than they had state expenditures in the month of June. So while this is never an exact number, or it should typically be a guess of approximately what the district is going to spend for the month. So that was automatically withdrawn back from the state. We just kind of felt we needed to report it due to how high the dollar amount was, and again, the request from the state to try to make it as close as possible. The next one is a significant deficiency. That's going to be the lower of the two. And this one relates to the timeline of the audit and being able to wrap up the audit. The audits this year were due December 31st. And the Federal Audit Clearinghouse submission was due March 31st. And again, the audit was not wrapped up until early April due to being able to get information from the district as well as kind of getting things cleaned up, getting bank reconciliations done and whatnot. The next one is a material weakness, and this revolves around a correction of an error from the prior year. In the prior, as we were doing the June 30th, 2025 audit and going through bank reconciliations, we identified a difference. The district looked into it, worked with multiple consultants and able to, in order to try to find it, did essentially identify it back to a June 30th, 2024 issue regarding approximately $432,000 that was not properly recorded on last year's bank reconciliations. Again, as you recall, there's been many issues with the district's bank reconciliations, and so this year, unfortunately, uncovered one more issue that had not been identified last year. The next one is a significant deficiency. This is the lower of the two findings. And this one involves the district is able to charge the child nutrition program an indirect cost expense for all of the expenses that the district incurs really on behalf of the child nutrition program. And in this instance, there is a cap to that. There's an indirect cost rate, and then there's an 8% cap to it. And in this instance, the district overcharged the child nutrition program by a little over $314,000. This has been already reported on the books to get it corrected and paid back. So this is not in addition to anything that is already on the books. The next one involves, this one is also a repeat finding in regards to, if you recall, the state allots certain allotments in positions, and the state will cover the entire salary for specific positions, classroom teachers, health personnel, and instructional support, in addition to principals, but there was not an issue with principals. In this instance, there were some overages of utilizing these funds that ultimately amounted to about $92,000 and then incurred about $4,600 in interest. This was significantly better than last year's overages. Last year's were significantly over. So again, significantly improved, but still some room to go on making sure that the district doesn't overspend classroom teachers or allotments. You can exceed state allotments, they just have to come out of local dollars. And this $96,625 has also already been recorded and accounted for in the fund balance numbers that it is owed back to the state. So essentially it was paid out of state dollars, should have been paid out of local dollars to begin with. So it's really not costing the district an extra $96,000. It's really costing the district the $4,600 in interest because the $92,000 really should have originally been paid out of a local account. So if you think about the real cost, it's not the full 96. The next one is significant deficiency, lower of the two. This one kind of goes back to bank reconciliations and reconciling with the state cash account records and making sure that the district cash account records reconcile with the state records. You really can't reconcile with the state records if you don't have the district records in order. So really this one goes back to the bank reconciliations not being completed on a timely basis. So that would definitely be our emphasis on kind of items to be able to look at. I will say because of the timing we were able to finish the audit and be able to present to you, we have actually already started on some of the 2026 work. I have looked at some of the 2026 bank reconciliations as well as those. I have not looked at all of them, but I have looked at some of them. So some of these items may have been, we have not audited everything, so I can't say what has or has not been corrected. But we have started looking at 2026 items. Any questions on findings before I kind of move over to required communications and management letter?
I just have a statement, not to you in general. You know, the board and the school system are stewards of state, local, and federal dollars. And it seems like we're continuing to have repeat problems. We seem to have continuous, repeated, same problems. What is there a plan and a process to prevent this from reoccurring in the future? We're looking at 26 now.
And that actually started this school year, 25-26. So as we moved into the fall, not only has our staff looked at things, but we've had some outside finance folks come in to support us with some of these things to ensure that we do the very best we can, make sure we look at the systems and make sure some of the processes that were not in place in this audit, to the best of our ability, are going to be put in place and have been put in place for this school year, 25-26. Obviously, this audit is 24-25. It's a snapshot of a year ago. And as we've gone through this year, we've tried to make sure that we put things in place to address these issues. Obviously, as Ms. Dennison said, the audit for 25-26 is already underway. And we feel like we're moving in the right direction for what we need to do to address the issue you're talking about. Obviously, that will come out in as we move forward, because Ms. Dennison and her team will come back in the fall, correct? Come back in the fall to finalize things as we close out the year. We feel positive about making a difference with that, and we want to be good stewards of funding as well. And just because of the nature of some of the things identified, and I'm sure Ms. Dennison will take the same thing, because of the nature of some of the things identified in 24-25, some of those things will naturally reoccur in 25-26, but we feel like that we've made tremendous strides with that. I don't want to overpromise with that.
I just hate the word, this is a repeat. This, this is a repeat.
It's frustrating.
It is.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Very frustrating.
Question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
There should be a mechanism, it's nothing but a spreadsheet developed that you could do that would assist in reconciling the bank statement. That it could be just keyed in, entered in from month to month to make sure that this bank account is reconciled.
I will tell you, and I don't think I'm going to misspeak here, that we are reconciled through May with things.
Reconciled through May. All right.
For this school year. And I will double check that for you as well, just to make sure I'm not misspeaking. But so I believe we've done a much better job in reconciling things this year. I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, finish your comment.
I was going to just say, Ms. Worsley, that I don't guarantee perfection, but I believe the process is much better. And that's because of some of the people that we're using to do that.
just thinking probably we need to, since we have so many things that we have to look at, waiting until the fall seems far out to me. And can we look at most of those concerns a little earlier?
We have already started looking at some of
So
the
you
things.
started.
Yes, so we were on site. I had a staff of 4 of us on site today at the district. So we have started looking at some of the things. Some of the things we're not able to really look at until after June 30th. But as the district's ready and has things ready, we would love to complete the audit as quickly as possible.
And I don't mean to give the wrong impression about when I say the fall. I was just sort of generally speaking about when that time frame. That is the typical time.
Yeah, that is the typical time frame. Yes, typically, the earliest audits that we would look at issuing are going to be August to September timeframe, just because of the time that it takes to close out the year, to be able to get everything compiled by the district, to be able to go through us, and then potentially waiting on things from the state and federal government to be able to finalize the audit. But we have started looking at what we can.
And even before their visit today, there was information and documents that were already transmitted to them prior to their visit today,
Yes.
which was within the last few
Months,
weeks.
yeah.
Month.
Well, if you are feeling that we are on the right track, I would hope that we would not get off again. That you're putting things in place. Because that's the only thing I know is how to reconcile and keep good reconciliation.
And that's certainly what we're trying to do.
And that's what I want to hear from this
Ms. Worthington,
district.
look like you had one more question.
Well, I was just looking at the finding on number 8, where the district requested and received 21, the amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay, 21. Again, I know I'm just a repeat, but there should be some type of mechanism in place that you show your expenditures before you make that request to make sure that it coincides with what you're requesting from the state.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Unless there's some other.
I do have.
Oh, you
Got a
have.
little bit more.
Oh,
Well, cruise along. I just wanted to kind of pause for a minute. So we did identify, we did report and post entries for several adjustments. We do have to report these to the board. These are really all in relation to the findings that we've already reported. So I'm not going to go through these in detail. You guys have the audit reports, you have the letters, just to kind of bring those to your attention that we did post several large entries to the district's books in relation to these items. Significant accounting estimates, these are the things that we would identify everywhere across the state. Disagreements, we had no disagreements with management. Staff was great. Difficulty was just receiving some of the items and timing of being able to get everything really is what contributed to the later completion of the audit. But again, no extreme disagreements or difficulties, just timing and being able to complete it. Management letter, I did mention this is going to be kind of the lowest level of reporting. Have a few things. One, timeliness of payments. We identified several payments that were made to vendors significantly after invoice vendor due dates. The G. Feller-Waller Concussion Act, we review the concussion forms that athletes and parents have to sign. We didn't identify any missing, but we identified some that were not necessarily completely properly initialed, signed, and dated. We just kind of recommend either using a software to track that or really closely watching to make sure that those are fully completed. Employee loans, the district provides various types of loans to employees, many of which are going to be the international staff that come in. And there, at the end of the year, there were loans to 12 people, and totaling for all 12 of them $11,895 that were never set up properly in the payroll system and were not deducted from their paychecks. So as of the end of the year, they did still owe those amounts to the district. The district is technically able to collect those this year, maybe has already happened. I can't speak to that because we have not audited that, but this is not necessarily foregone. And the last item is just really to bring to your attention the level of fund balance, the level of kind of savings that the district has compared to really what we would expect to see for a district this size, and the use of funds with $389,000 left, of which $148,000 is unassigned. Again, this other special revenue fund has $1,348,000. And so with the level of spending between the general fund and other special revenue fund, those funds are not available in 2026 to be able to spend. So just really bringing to the attention that, and I know I sent the board early on a letter that kind of detailed what we thought at the time before we really even got into auditing, because there was a lot that needed to be audited. But I think the message, while the numbers have fluctuated and changed to an extent, the message was the same, that there needed to be some adjustments on spending. And I know that was especially challenging, and just kind of want to recognize the fact that it was especially challenging with the demerger, with the added students that came over, and the challenges with that, and being able to pin down and predict that would have definitely made this significantly more challenging than an average year going through 2025, and identifying what those costs would be and what the state funding was going to look like for those added students. Then real quick to look at some supplementary information, you can see revenue did increase in 2025, and that, again, that's going to be mostly related to the demerger and the addition of students, with the addition of state dollars. Federal dollars did decrease with the ending of ESSER. And then, like I said, the other is going to be the other special revenue, going to be grant type revenues. This is a chart of expenses. Instructional makes up the bulk of it. System-wide support making up the next bulk of it. That's going to include custodians. It's going to include bus drivers. It's going to include maintenance workers. Kind of the things that surround the students but are not specifically instructional. And then capital outlay, other expenses. Other expenses are going to include things like charter school payments. And then this is a look of the fund balance, general fund balance in yellow. And again, just to kind of point out the declining nature of that. Capital, as you can see, and I mentioned earlier, does fluctuate significantly more just from year to year based upon summer projects. It can go up and it can go down. But again, something to monitor and keep an eye on. And that's all I have. If there are any other questions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Corrigan. Thank you, Mr. Corrigan.
Yeah.
Good evening. Board Chair, Board Member, Superintendent Dr. Bryan, I will be giving y'all a few maintenance updates. This is West Edgecombe, the leak that we had. This is on repair. This is floor tiles at West Edgecombe. This is what we did to complete it. This is our toilet that we had that broke and replaced it at Westmont. We had sidewalk cracked all up at MMA, broken concrete. We repaired it. This is bullet carpet removal. The carpet is really bad. We moved it. We put the floor tiles down. That's what it looks like now.
And I'll just say that Ms. Corrigan doesn't put up every picture of every project that they do, just so everybody knows.
And I don't do that. I do that because I don't want to take up all your time. We'll be here all night.
For anybody
We appreciate
who's
that.
tuning in, I didn't want anybody to think that.
That's right.
That's all.
Yeah, that's what we've done since last month.
That's right.
Thank you,
sir.
Okay, we are on page 2 of our agenda now. We do not have any committee reports. We're back with our consent items.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Murray?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Approval to submit the 2026-27 Consolidated Grant Substantial Approval Application. Includes statement of assurances on behalf of the Board of Education of Edgecombe County Public Schools. Our consolidated grants are obviously for next year, and this puts everything into motion for funding that will be receiving next year. And Ms. Pierce is here if you want to ask any more specific questions. But I think you've done this probably enough. This sort of sets everything in motion.
And it is a new process this year, so you'll start to see this in June, and then you'll get the application like you typically do this fall. This used to be part of the fall.
And it'll come back in the fall.
Yeah, in the fall, when we finish our final budget and application, it will come to you for the final approval. And this allows us to make expenditures in July and August before the final application gets processed.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions, concerns as relates to our consent items?
And Madam Chair, if we're just going to deal with both items on consent, 8.2A is approval of the 2026-27 Comprehensive Target Support CSI and TSI PRC 105. Again, statement of assurances as we head into 26-27. It sort of sets everything in motion again for PRC 105, which is federal funding coming back to our schools. And then that will come back again to you in the fall.
I would like to call for a motion to approve our consent items.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of consent items as presented.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we will approve our consent items as presented. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Thank you very kindly. Now we will start with our items for action. 8.1B.
Items for action, 8.1B, as to approval to support new construction and renovation at North Edgecombe High School to temporarily relocate students for the 26-27 school year due to ongoing construction facility needs at North Edgecombe, moving students in North Edgecombe High School to Phillips Middle School, and relocating students currently housed at Phillips Middle School to Coker-Wimberley Elementary for the duration of the construction project.
Any concerns, anyone? Questions on this recommendation? If not, I need to hear a motion.
I'm sorry.
No, I was going.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When we move the students, that does not take us over capacity at either one of these slots to provide for any additional people coming in. That won't take us over that, will it?
We think we can accommodate that, both either in brick and mortar, and I'm specifically talking about Phillips.
Right, I am, right.
And we will assess any need for, because we're doing the brick and mortar, we might have to assess looking at, particularly in the second year of that, maybe an additional mobile unit or two.
And that's what I'm.
But we understand, we're having that conversation, and we'll look at the numbers and see what they are. But as everybody knows, Phillips used to be
High school, right.
And just to alleviate another piece of all this, we also understand we're making plans for athletic facilities as well for high school and the middle school. And we know we're going to need to make some adjustments there, but we believe that we have viable plans to make that happen.
And the parents have already, they know exactly what's going on.
We're in the process now. Once you approve tonight, we're going to be communicating with parents about specifics of that. We've met with the staffs of each school and make sure that we're moving forward so that everybody knows what's happening.
And the bathroom facilities, of course, at Coker will be upgraded to meet the middle school out there.
Maintenance is already working on trying to meet those facility needs. And have to plan for that.
Any questions on it? If not, I need to get a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve to temporarily relocate students for the 26-27 school year due to ongoing construction and facility needs at North Edgecombe High School by moving students currently housed at North Edgecombe to Phillips Middle and relocating students at Phillips Middle to Coker-Wimberley Elementary for the duration of the construction.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve temporarily to relocate students for the 26-27 school year due to ongoing construction and facility needs at North Edgecombe High School by relocating students currently housed at North Edgecombe High School to Phillips Middle School and locating students currently housed at Phillips Middle School to Coker-Wimberley Elementary School for the duration of the construction project. Any other discussion on the motion?
One question. I read it. The athletic facilities for the Phillips kids, they go play where?
We're still going to be able to continue to use some of the facilities at Phillips.
Okay.
And I'll even go further if you want. Certainly the volleyball can be used at Phillips for North, but we do not believe it can be used for basketball. It can be used for basketball practice, but not. And that's what we've been working on specifically.
Your question clarified. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Thank you very kindly. 8.2B. Ms. McDowell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, Co-Chair, Board members, and Dr. Brown. I stand before you tonight to request approval of the bids for the Child Nutrition Program for the 26-27 school year. That's going to include milk and dairy, food and beverages, supplies, chemicals, produce, and equipment repairs. And they are listed there. As you can see, we rolled over everything. But we don't have to rebid, we don't rebid. And we're getting good service.
All right.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Ms. McDowell? If not, I need to hear a motion for approval of the recommendation.
Madam Chair, I recommend approval of the Child Nutrition Program bids for school year 2026-27.
Second. Has been moved and properly second that we will approve of the Child Nutrition Program bids for 26-27 school year. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very kindly. 8.3B, Mr. Hayes.
Good evening, Board Chair, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Bryan. Tonight I'm requesting board approval for the purchase of a district website hosting from Edlio, which is our current provider, beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2029 as a sole source in the amount of $32,400. That's over 3 years, so per year cost is $10,800. Using PRC 015, which is technology funds. The district website hosting for that $10,800 includes the hosting the website, hosting all 20 school websites. Also, because of new federal law, all of our websites and web pages have to be ADA compliant, and so this has an accessibility AI tool to ensure that we are ADA compliant, and then also a chat bot to help our guests who visits our website, which they can ask questions, and the chat bot should be able to answer based off all the information compiled on the website.
Anybody have any questions to Mr. Case? If not, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the purchase of the district website hosting from Elio, beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2029 as a sole source in the amount of $32,400 using PRC 015 local technology funds.
It's been moved and second that we will approve the approval of the purchase of district website hosting from Edlio beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2029 as a sole source in the amount of $34,400 using PRC 015 funds, technology funds. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. believe you're still standing, Mr. Hayes.
Yes, ma'am. I'd also like to request board approval for the purchase of our district Microsoft license for fiscal year 2026-2027 from Soft Choice as a sole source in the amount of $59,955.22. Technology will use local technology fund 015 for this purchase. And these licenses are required if we want to continue to legally operate our devices that use Microsoft Windows infrastructure. And also, Soft Choice is the vendor of record for North Carolina. This is a state contract that we're pretty much using to purchase Microsoft with.
Any questions from any board members? Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve the purchase of district Microsoft license for fiscal year 2026-2027 from Soft Choice and the sole source in the amount of $59,041.45 using PRC.
Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve the approval of purchasing district Microsoft license for 26-27 from the 7-7 Soft Choice as a sole source in the amount of $59,955.22. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very kindly, Ms. Hayes. Okay, 8.5, Dr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What you have in front of you tonight is approval of budget amendment number 2 for 25-26. And you have two pieces of paper there. Let me explain what's on each one and the broad and narrow view on it. The first page you have called labeled budget amendment number 2. Those are actual, there's no loss of money in any of those localities, just where either funds have been moved or added within specific areas to maximize funding, which is what typically happens throughout the school year. And I'll give you an example. If you look at that page on budget amendment number 2, state public school fund, under instructional services, there's been an addition of $1.6 million into that area. If you see a total, subtotal under state public school fund, and you see areas where things have been moved to other areas. So that's the narrow view on where funding has been moved throughout that. And by the way, let me just add, at our closeout meeting in June, we'll have another budget amendment coming to close things out as we end the year. On page 2, that's the 50,000 foot view, which shows where funding has landed in the different areas from state public school fund to local current expense, federal funding, capital outlay, and then those same subgroups like instructional services, system-wide support services, etc. And those areas, that's the big view. The first page is the actual changes that have happened to create those funding numbers on page 3.
Anyone have any questions? Dr. Bryant?
And like I said, we'll be coming back to you at the end of June as we close things out. And I feel good about where we are. We're getting ready to close out the new year.
We have any other questions or concerns with our budget amendment number 2? If not, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of budget amendment number 2 for 25-26 as presented.
Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve the budget amendment number 2 for 25-26. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. 8.6B, Dr.
Madam Chair, these are services that you have already approved in relation to the funding for that. But we just need to come back and make sure the sole source documentation was provided as well. Because this is a unique service that's provided by Yaron and Richmond Resource Center for Mental Health Support. And we're just sort of dotting the I in our process for that. So you've already approved this.
I was getting ready to say, we've already
So we
approved
can
it.
keep
This is
rolling.
not unfamiliar to you.
This is just for the sole sourcing component of it for the purchasing bidding requirement component of it.
All right. Are you planning to, I think we're okay with that one, okay? Yeah. Does anybody have any specific questions or that you do not understand?
This is really a procedural issue.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will continue. Dr. Brown, 8.7B.
We still need a
Do we have a
motion.
vote?
Oh, I'm trying to move it too fast.
I think I was talking too much.
All right, we need to have a motion for approval of this recommendation.
Madam Chair, I make a motion for the approval of the services provided by Butarin Enrichment and Resource Center as a sole source for school-based mental health services for the total amount not to exceed $36,000 using PRC 145 North Carolina Stronger Connections Grant federal funds.
It has been moved and properly second that we will approval of the services provided by Utron Enrichment and Resource Center as a sole source for school-based mental health services for the total amount not to exceed $36,000 using PRC 145 North Carolina Stronger Connections Grant federal funds. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Thank you very kindly.
Madam Chair, 8.7B, same sole source request, procedural in nature. Educator's Handbook is where we collect disciplinary information for students, and it allows us to analyze data and various other things with that. You've already approved this request for $15,162. We are seeking sole source approval from the board.
Anybody have any questions on this one? If not, I need to hear a motion for these.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the services provided by educationalhandbook.com as the sole source for the technological license for office referral and minor incidents for the 25-26 school year, total of $15,162.
Second.
Ms. Kelly.
It's been moved and properly second that we will, for the approval of services provided by Educators Handbook.com as a sole source for the technology license for office referral and minor incidents for the 25-26 school year for the total amount of $15,162. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Opposed, the same sign. Okay, Dr. Brown, you still on?
Madam Chair,
8.8.
8.8B, this is also a sole source request, procedural in nature, to approve communities and schools, support staff at our 5 schools, and ask for the board support of this. Of course, the board has already approved this. And I know what a big fan you all are of communities and schools, as we all are. They've done some really good work for us, particularly in supporting our graduation rate.
Whoever's making the motion, I need you to reduce this paragraph. That's a half page long.
I got it.
And, all right,
I make a motion that we approve item 8.8B as a sole source.
Schools listed. And the schools listed.
The schools listed.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve 8.8B as sole source and the schools that's listed. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. It's a break here. Ms. Ann Kent, could you take us into close?
Absolutely. Madam Chair, I make a motion under the North Carolina Open Meetings Law, Section 143, 318, 11, A1, A3, and A6, to go into closed session to consider personnel matters, to consult with the attorney to preserve attorney-client privileged information, and to prevent the disclosure of student records rendered confidential under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, 20 U.S.C. 1232G, and the disclosure of personnel records rendered confidential under DS 115C, 319 through 321.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we will go into closed session, and at this time we'll need to take about a 10-minute break. It's been 6. discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We in open session.
Green.
Oh, what?
It's back on.
Yeah? Okay, back in.
We need to get a motion to approve the personnel.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the personnel management.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we will approve our personnel management. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Next item, our closed session minutes. We have two sets of those. Our May 11th, 2026 regular closed session minutes. I need a motion on those.
A motion to accept, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we will approve our May 11th, 2026 closed session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. The second set of minutes, closed session minutes, May 27th, 2026, personnel.
Madam Chair. I make a motion we approve the May 27th personnel meeting closing.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our May 27th, 2026 personnel closed session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Board correspondence. Do not have those. Items brought by board members or superintendent for consideration or discussion.
20.1. Thank you.
12.1, Madam Chair, I believe that's from
Well, oh,
discussion regarding the renaming of Teacher
yeah,
Resource
I hadn't
Center.
got to that. Okay,
Is this the appropriate time now,
yes,
Chair?
yes it is.
So I believe correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Robinson, that superintendent has the authority to make a recommendation to the board
Yes, sir.
regarding that. It seemed to me that the recommendation made tonight by citizens of Estill County and Rocky Mount seemed to me to make the recommendation that Teacher Resource Center be named after Dr. Evelyn Shaw Wilson.
I would like to make that a formal motion.
I'll second.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that we name the Teacher Resource Center after Dr. Evelyn Shaw Wilson. Who is that? A fabulous woman, because she has been a huge asset to our school system.
I'll second.
It's been moved
He needs to carry it.
So we have a motion made and properly seconded. All those in favor? Well, should I say, is there any other discussion? With no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The Teacher Resource Center will be named Dr. Evelyn Shaw, in honor of Dr. Evelyn Shaw Wilson.
I don't want to go by that center and see if we go. I don't want to see it to go.
I can't take it.
I think it should be royal
blue. Yeah, I don't want to see it go. Make blue. I don't want to see no gold over there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
Well
you so
deserved.
much.
Well deserved.
Thank you so much. I now need to have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that we will adjourn this meeting. All in favor of that motion, let it be known by saying aye. Opposed, the same sign.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Oh.